everyone has a hard stop at 12:30 or sooner, I would like to welcome all of you and start this SAC membership meeting at 12:03. And the purpose of today's meeting is to review two membership survey applications. And before we move into the purpose of the meeting, does anyone have anything that they would like to comment on or mention? Okay, so
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session so that we can discuss the possible appointments.
thank you, Jen. Anyone second the motion? Thank you,
I would
Susan.
like to. Never get to.
Thank you. Okay, great. And I guess all in favor? I'm in favor. Okay, great. All right,
Thank
so I'd like us to move into executive session.
Can you tell me who second was that, Brian?
Hi,
I
Julie.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah, go with
Thank you,
me.
Brian. Thank you. I thought I saw your hand.
Okay, it's Mr. Falcon.
Okay. Matt, are we back? Great. Okay. So, I would like to make a motion that we move the teacher candidate application forward for consideration by the SAC full council, and to also present the application to the executive committee at their next meeting, which I believe is tomorrow.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. Okay. And would also, I don't know if I have to make a motion for this or if it's okay just to state that we would like to gather additional information regarding our student application. And
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have to make a motion, but
I don't think we
just in case, do you have to?
all right, you make a motion, Jen?
Yes, sure.
Okay, and anyone second the motion?
I'll second
Okay, and
it,
all in
Brian.
favor? Okay,
Aye.
great. Okay, good. Okay, so that's what I had on the agenda for the meeting. Is there anything else? Anything anyone wanted to mention? Yes, Susan,
I
yes.
was wondering where we are with higher ed and where we are with legislators. I reached out to another legislator, Representative Poulos, Poulos.
Okay,
He spoke at a meeting that I was at about a pilot ASL program that they're working on right now for the school system. And
Okay.
so I reached out to him and asked if he would be interested in this coming to a meeting or, coming to a meeting.
okay.
So I didn't know if we had any more or if we had any other game plans.
I have not received any, any applications or no one has contacted me. And Brian Klimkowitz, I don't know if you have any updates.
For the higher education.
Yeah, for higher education or for legislative.
This is Brian. Hi, Catherine. So just to
Hi.
answer your question, we don't have any further updates for the higher ed vacancy. Yeah.
All right.
At one of our previous meetings, you had mentioned asking from some leadership group that had higher ed people. Is that something you can follow up on?
Yeah, so we're involved with work with CCSSO and CEDAR around inclusive principal practices, where all of the variety of higher ed programs are involved. So that's a structure that I can reach out to, or an already existing team that I can reach out to for recommendations. So I'll put that on my to-do for our next meeting.
Thanks.
Brian, are we
Thank you.
allowed as, like, say I grabbed Catherine and anyone who wanted to go with me and made an appointment to speak with the education committee or the, any of the committees that involve us, to say, we have these vacancies, this is who we are, please consider it. Or if any of your colleagues would, are we allowed to do that, or does that have to come from you?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's
you
have to
would-
figure out how to get an appointment.
Yeah.
Well,
We did have the legislative liaison from in the Capitol. I forget who the individual was, but someone reached out to us about the current vacancies on the committee related to legislative appointees. So so Jolie and I did follow up with Laura and provide her with a current up-to-date list of vacancies and who the appointments are from. And then, you had developed that nice flyer also, that one pager that went along with that. So we were thinking that was in response to that flyer being distributed, because it was short, Jolie, I don't remember the exact day, but it was shortly thereafter, but we haven't heard anything since.
So we need some flyers and we need to go. I don't know, but
Yeah,
It just feels like it's even one would be lovely.
yeah, I know. Just one.
It's not for not trying. We've been trying. You've been
No, I
trying. You
know.
see that beautiful flyer.
I know. And I mean, I have to say I was on the SAC website before the meeting, and it was really nice to see, like, the flyer is there front and center. So anyone who goes to the site can find it.
Mhm. Yeah. And this is, I mean, this is an extremely busy time for the legislators. So, you know,
Yes.
once the session ends in June, once the session's over, I think there's going to be a different pace to the legislators' schedules. So it's just, I'm not sure the likelihood of an appointment in the height of what's happening legislatively. That I don't want to rule that out, but just mentioning it during sessions very different than once session is ended.
And do they still have meetings, committee meetings after session or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good
Brian
thought.
Smith has his hand up.
Thank you, Jennifer. It was getting sore. Just kidding. What if we, rather than, I mean, pounding the pavement and doing kind of that grassroots kind of work, what if we invited them to like a sub membership meeting? Those key people that you wanted to knock on doors to, invite them to a Teams conversation where we can capture them for like 15-30 minutes in their hectic schedules and just run through it and answer some of those questions and send off that electronic pamphlet. Just from an essence of time and trying to get some people to the table, they might be able to squeeze in that versus you knocking on the door at the wrong time and them not being there. Just a thought.
Right.
I think that's a great idea. Brian Klimkowitz, do you think that, again, that's something that could happen now during the legislative session, or is that something we should really focus on once it's over?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's worth an invitation, like you said, that the worst that would happen is they wouldn't be able to make it. And then you could try again. So I wouldn't let it deter you, but just, understanding that it's not due to your efforts or lack of efforts or, wanting that support. It's just a matter of, of the kind of the priorities that are kind of on people's plates at this point in time, I would say.
Right.
And when we, if and when that invite or extension 4 invite goes out, it would be more of just trying to figure out what day and time would work for them, knowing that legislative sessions are going on and the budget talks, because it might be a 6 o'clock conversation or a 7 a.m., and we can just kind of rally the troops and figure out who would be available to hop on a call at that particular hour to accommodate their crazy schedule right now, rather than kicking us down the road 4 months.
Yeah, I kind of, the great points, Brian. I would just point out again too, it's like, if you have 15 minutes with a legislator, what are you going to say to them? Because our membership is great, and that's one thing, but they may not be a member, but they could be a part, they could be a public participant. We've had a few legislators that were interested in our activities that just attended our meetings. They were never officially appointed, just like some of our parents aren't officially, receiving letters from either from the governor or the commissioner, or awaiting those. So they know who the appointing bodies are. That's what Laura sent. And so there could be an official appointment and that person may never come to a meeting ever. That's happened before. Or there could be just legislators that it's important, you all feel as a executive committee or a membership committee that it's important for legislators to hear a discussion we're having on some specific thing. If Tom's presenting at a SAC meeting about the IDA grant, maybe that's not the best use of the legislators' time. So it's just trying to understand where the legislative support may be needed. Mostly it's around awareness of our annual report and the recommendations and the priorities that you've identified as a committee. So just throwing that out there, that it's nice to have official letters and appointments. That doesn't necessarily mean those individuals will come to meetings. And then secondarily, we just want to make sure that the legislator understands your charge and the discussions that you have. And we can offer an invite to every meeting we have. Like, we can just make that as part of our process, that they receive the same invite and email that our members do. So where do you want to spend your time and efforts in that activity, and how much time and effort to do that?
Okay.
All right, this is helpful. Yeah, you're right, because if we only have 10 or 15 minutes with them, we would certainly want to make sure that we're hitting the high points and
There's a lot of interest and legislation in special education this year, and the Education
Yeah.
Committee has, I think, 39 bills that have come out of their session. So, they're invested. It's just a matter of, like the membership and the regular attending of meetings. That's the challenge. It's always been the challenge, and I think it will always continue to be. But I think the steps you've taken so far this year have really improved things. Like you said, Catherine, that the resources are easily accessible, and we're able to share those and point to those different things. And it's a quick snapshot of what is needed. So I think those are great steps you're taking.
thank you.
Right. I agree too.
Okay.
I have to hop off for another meeting.
Okay.
Do you want me to make a motion to adjourn, or do you want to continue your discussion?
I think that
I think we're
we all
good.
need to hop off. So thanks, Jen. Anyone second the motion?
I'll second it.
Okay.
All right.
All
And
right.
I will
All in
talk.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Have a good day,
everyone. This
guys.
is
Thank you.
the
Bye.
session,
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thanks
and we'll
all.
see a lot of you tomorrow. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.